Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we discuss the Cancer full moon happening on January 13th, 2025 at 5:26 p.m. That's Eastern Time, so be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. This is a highly charged emotional Cancer full moon due to two particular influences, which we will get into here. So the full moon is happening at 23 degrees of Cancer, 59 minutes, so essentially 24 degrees of Cancer in your chart. This is where the energy is illuminating a feeling, something that you need, an area of self-care, comfort, home, family, loved ones, where you're looking and needing to energetically balance yourself based on how you're feeling, which is in opposition here to the sun in Capricorn at 23 degrees Capricorn, 59 minutes. Again, we round up to 24 degrees. The sun in Capricorn is where we need to make moves, get things done, take care of business. As January is underway, there is a lot in front of you, perhaps that you need to circle back on or figure out to get some planning done for the year ahead. There's a sense of purpose with the sun in Capricorn. It's a dedicated energy, dedicated to making progress and being productive. So this is where you could feel like I really got to be focused on what's in front of me, get some things figured out, and make sure that I'm thinking about the bigger priorities of right now and for the year ahead. And so with the full moon, we feel both sides of ourselves coming to life. We feel and are connected to that sun in Capricorn intention of being ambitious, focusing on what is important and showing up where needed, which is in contrast to the moon in Cancer, which is I want to retreat, take a break, step away from everything that's happening around me, and listen to myself and my personal needs. So the two areas of your chart that are being activated with this full moon involves 24 degrees of Cancer and 24 degrees of Capricorn. Now, as you can see here, the moon is conjunct Mars retrograde in Cancer. So that Mars is moving back towards the moon, and this makes the energies highly active, responsive, aggressive. It amplifies emotions, especially the desire to do something with what you're feeling. That Mars retrograde in Cancer is uncomfortable. And that's because Mars isn't able to move ahead as he prefers. He also prefers to move swiftly, to take charge, and to be independent. This is Mars going back in that retrograde to what you're feeling, slowing down to connect and hear what those messages are. This is Mars that can feel like there's a built-in discomfort with how to process what's coming up. And this energy is working with other important parts of the zodiac right now. Now, this moon at 24 degrees of Cancer is in a separating square from Chiron. Same with that sun in Capricorn, a separating square, meaning they're moving away from that exact square to Chiron. The moon is in its home sign of Cancer, where it is the strongest, the most aware, and the most tuned in to what you're feeling, sensing, and needing. And right before the full moon, earlier in the same day or the night before, this moon was at 19 degrees, an exact square to Chiron. Now it's separating away, but there's still lingering pain, lingering emotions, This is a highly sensitive energy. It's sensitive, it feels bruised, vulnerable. And then here comes this Mars, which can be very defensive, wanting to protect that moon and what you're feeling. So when we look at just these energies of this Mars triggering more of what is being felt, especially after the separating square from Chiron, there could be a need for recovery, retreat, going within, taking a break, removing yourself from something, from someone, and going into what you know is true for you, what you're truly getting to the heart of. And to hear those parts of yourself, and then to take care and nurture those parts of yourself, all while the sun in Capricorn is beckoning you to still show up to work tomorrow, that you've got things to do, people are relying upon you. That's also the sun in Capricorn. And looking at how to balance what you're feeling and sensing. Now, there is beautiful support in this chart here that we also want to focus on. So again, right before this full moon was exact, there was some kind of sensitivity that was triggered. Then there's a need to take care of oneself, nurture, care for, release, whatever that has been for you. And that Mars is not going to let you just sit in it. Mars is looking for how to support what you need. This Mars is in a trine to Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces. And now that North Node in Pisces has just entered Pisces within 24 hours of this Cancer full moon. And so this is a softer energy with Pisces. You can see here that we also have Venus and Saturn in Pisces. I'll get to that in a moment. But with all these energies in Pisces, this Mars is receiving the trine to respond differently, to be more aware of the bigger messages or themes he's processing and tuning into, because this Neptune in Pisces is holding key parts of your ascension journey, key parts of what you are trusting outside of the physical world, what you've been heavily focused on, especially since Neptune entered Pisces back in 2011, 2012. There's some fated turning point in our spiritual growth as this Neptune makes a conjunction to the North Node in Pisces, which will be exact in early February at 28 degrees. So there is an increasing intuitive understanding that is being directed towards Mars, that is also maturing him, showing him the power of feelings and emotions, which again, Mars is not comfortable in this energy. But the moon is. The moon is. So this Mars, even though it can be very reactive and juvenile, there's a part of our emotional body that is being infused with higher spiritual frequencies now. And it will require being by yourself, because that is something that both the Pisces and the Cancer energies crave, is that alone time. Don't talk to me, leave me alone. I just want to go for a walk. I want to be in my space. I want to do my own thing. And that's where you hear and connect with the bigger the bigger messages that you're ready to see here and to feel. And then it lands. It comes through and connects to the Mars, the body consciousness, and goes right to the moon as well. Okay, so I'm feeling this really strongly as an expanding crown chakra that's being directed towards the heart chakra. So here we have this supportive trine from Neptune to Mars. The moon will move forward and will also be a part of this trine at an exact degree a few hours after the full moon. So there's a significant turning point in an emotional experience that you're in. It's a turning point of leaving behind an old emotional program, imprint, something you've been holding or carrying. And the Capricorn Cancer axis is family, mother, father, maternal, paternal, where you have come from, Cancer, and where you're going based on your own choices, goals, and purpose. Now, the sun in Capricorn, 24 degrees, and the moon in Cancer are also in a harmonious connection to this Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus, retrograde. Uranus will be stationing direct the end of January around the Aquarius new moon. And so at this time, Uranus is revisiting territory that it was at starting last May 2024. And Uranus is helping to break up the tension on the emotional power here. Uranus is shocks, disruptions, and seeing it differently. Also being highly resourceful in Taurus, new ways of using your resources, of spending money, making money, creating money. New ways of creating what you value in your life. This Uranus in Taurus is helping to move along what is coming up in the emotional body and helping to identify new ways of getting to where you want to go with the trine there to the sun in Capricorn. So Uranus is providing more change, a faster change. It's speeding up what needs to shift here and pulling you out of where this Cancer energy can be afraid to evolve, because that Cancer energy will hold itself back. And here you've got Capricorn saying, no, we're going forward. And Cancer is saying, but I don't know what's there. Is it safe? Is it okay? Am I going to like it? Is there a soft pillow? And Capricorn says, no. There's only cement and hard work. Let's go. And the Capricorn energy is moving you forward. And then this Uranus energy is saying, it's time to approach this differently. It's time to shake this up and to not hold yourself back. And Mars is a defender here. Mars is a soldier. Mars is that warrior, that fighter that's highly protective. Mars is protecting that moon in Cancer, protecting maybe how you really feel, what your fears are, what you're really feeling emotionally. And Mars is saying, is it safe? Are we ready? Am I ready? And this Mars previously had a standoff with the Sun in Capricorn. I'm sorry. Mars is approaching the standoff. Sorry, to the Sun in Capricorn. Mars is approaching the standoff. So this Mars is moving slowly retrograde, right, at 27. When the Sun in Capricorn gets to 26 degrees, that's where they're going to have a standoff, January 15th, January 16th. So whatever is coming up here during this Cancer full moon, it lasts through the week, at least for a few days. And the planets are not only dancing with this Mars and the Sun, but they're connecting with this Neptune and Uranus. And so they're still creating a cradle. Now, the cradle is an opposition, and then it's these blue lines, right? So a trine to Neptune, sextile to Neptune, and then a trine to Uranus, a sextile to Uranus. And that means that the cradle is a container. And we had this energy back in the fall. We also had another cradle configuration in Scorpio season. This is a cradle that's helping you feel safe in what you need to do and take care of and how you need to move ahead, but to take your feelings with you, to be tuned in to what's going on, and to not tune it out, to not overly detach, but to understand that it's also a very important part of honoring your truth and honoring your feelings, because they have a lot of wisdom. And so this container here is cosmic with Neptune in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus. Holding space for our changing cultural values, for what is ending and completing, what we are having to adapt to that is destabilizing. But when you are connected to your core self of knowing you'll figure it out, there will be new unexpected opportunities that arrive. And so look for these opportunities at the Cancer full moon that Uranus in Taurus is bringing to the moon and to the sun. And also honor what is closing out. Venus is approaching a conjunction to Saturn in Pisces. And these are reality checks around your possessions, your values, relationships, connections. These are, Venus being the feminine, Venus being women, and the Saturn taking a good hard look at something that no longer is giving to you. And this energy of this Venus and Pisces is squaring. There's a square here to this Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Overthinking it. What about this? What if I say that? What if I bring up this point? What if we go there? What if? A very active mind that's processing maybe anything that's happening here with the Venus in Pisces moving to a conjunction with Saturn. These can be father-daughter relationships. And these can be mother-son relationships. And these can be mother-father. There's a lot of family energy here with these conjunctions, accentuating changes in those relationships. Even though those are pretty specific, maybe that helps some of you understand what is going on or anything that you're experiencing. But this Venus conjunct Saturn it's an ending. There's something you need to take care of, step away from, be complete with. And maybe you've been figuring out how to make other choices or how not to do that. But when this Venus gets to that conjunction to Saturn, there's a reality check, and then she moves on, and she'll be conjunct Neptune and the North Node in early February at 28 degrees, which is a really big release point and closure. 2, Venus and Pisces energies, needs, expressions, themes. Trust what you're feeling around anything you need to step away from. Because that's going to be a really big part of February and March. So you're getting a heads up here. And you're probably already feeling it. And maybe those are the feelings you're wrestling with. Again, there's a lot of emotional processing here that isn't easy. Because there can be anger, impatience, frustration. Let's get on with it. I don't want to be in this. I don't want to feel all this. In which case it may be easier to honor that sun in Capricorn purpose. And detach in order to be productive and stay focused on the long term. Stay focused on the long term. We're going to be in a lot of Pisces energies over the next few months. So that's just going to be a dominant theme now. And even though you could be having some realizations around what is closing out for you, a life chapter, something significant, something that you thought would last forever or you thought was going to go longer, just know that there's always a universal promise for a beautiful new start that's more fitting, that's more aligned, that is ready to go the distance in the new energies. And we're clearing out the past. We're clearing out previous experiences that, maybe you thought you were over it and you're not, because here comes that Mars to trigger it. Maybe it's bringing up old arguments, old emotions, things that, again, they're not in this timeline necessarily, but you could feel like you're being pulled back into a previous version or a previous timeline of yourself. And there's a reason for that. There's a purpose for that. Clean up whatever is left of that emotional imprint, experience, whatever it may be, so that you can end it and take the best parts forward. Take the best energies forward and leave the rest. So a lot of emotional processing going on through the middle of January. And then when we have the upcoming Aquarius new moon, there's a significant shift in the energy and the frequencies. And so keep in mind that whatever this might be for you, it's probably going to move through faster than you anticipate. It's going to move through quicker. And that would be one of the gifts of this Mars. Because he's like, let's not just sit in this. Let's punch pillows. Let's, if you're pissed off, then you get out that soft, fluffy pillow and you punch it to move the energy. And then let's get over it. So whatever you need to move through is going to be a gift of this Cancer full moon. As always, thank you for joining me. And be sure to check out the 2025 Soul Growth Program where I talk about all this Pisces energy that's going on here. Because you're going to want to know where it's happening for you and what's coming up, as well as more of the specifics of how to work with it and how to notice what you're completing. I'll put the link below the video here, but it's designed to help you understand what you're changing at a very big level, at a very big part of your experience this year. So as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your shares, your likes, your comments, and I'll be back here soon with another video for you.